All right, David Remnick, I just have to ask, in terms of, you looking at presidential leadership, and it's hard not to sound extreme here, but the president has, factually based, lied repeatedly about being prepared for this, about knowing it was coming. The only explanation that one could maybe think of is that he's trying to cover up the botched initial response that will continue to rain hell over hotspots across the country. But what explains his behavior now? Not using the Defense Mobilization Act, going after governors, going after reporters, getting into fights with people, distracting. Is anybody telling him that these realities that we're reporting on now, that we are seeing with our own eyes, from makeshift morgues in New York City to prison outbreaks, which is just a frightening concept, to Boston, 160 healthcare workers testing positive. This could take down the hospital system. Massachusetts yesterday, Massachusetts made the very extreme, the first state to do so, decision to graduate fourth-year medical students and put them out into the medical population for fear they will run out of doctors. This virus isn't going to listen to his branding exercise. It's not going to take kindly to his stupid county-by-county plan, and it's not going to let him reopen by Easter. We're going to have people dying. We're going to have people filling up the makeshift morgue at Bellevue Hospital. We're going to have too many bodies for the morgues. And these reports are here, and they are now. So what explains his behavior?
What explains his behavior is this is who Donald Trump was. This is what he always was a real estate flim-flam man in New York. And the price of it in the beginning was not very high. We watched him on, his reality show. We saw him on magazine covers in the 80s and 90s, and he was a source of amusement. Not very amusing anymore. This country elected Donald Trump president, and he was who he is now, except now he's not in charge of a reality television show. He's in charge of human lives by the millions, and a federal government for which he has nothing but disdain. Remember, he calls expertise the administrative state with disdain. He calls the federal government, which has all the power to help human beings, he calls it the deep state with disdain. And right now, you're seeing the epicenter of this in New York City, and this is the city that I love. And my money is on people who tell the truth, whether it's Tony Fauci or the medical professionals that I talk to or journalists who are doing their work. All of these people, countless people, but that can't substitute for leadership at the very top. And the price will be paid in human life, in emergency rooms, in housing projects, in nursing homes. It will not just be paid in New York City. Scott Gottlieb, the former that former head of the FDA, fired and let go by Donald Trump, tweeted last night that if you think this is limited to New York, you're wrong. It's going to hit New Orleans, Detroit, Dallas, Miami, Chicago, Philadelphia, and it will hit it no less hard. And unless the country has the discipline to do what it needs to do and values human life before the investment banking people and private equity people whispering in Donald Trump's ear that we better get back to work by Easter, this fantasy of Easter, then we are in dark trouble.
All right, David Remnick, thank you very much. Willie?